A picture worth 1,000 words. George Pickens, Najee Harris, happy that Russell Wilson is the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, Mike Tomlin, he moved on from Justin Fields at quarterback as this past Sunday on the Sunday Night Football against the Jets. Russell Wilson was announced as starter and played his first snaps of the season. And after the game, during the game, George Pickens just looked the happiest that he's been on the sideline all season, alongside Najee Harris. So, the question being, does the Pittsburgh Steelers finally have a quarterback that can keep George Pickens happy? Because leading up to the game and the previous weeks, you could see George Pickens pouting on the sideline for knocking the ball. You could see him angry. He wants to contribute to the Pittsburgh Steelers winning games. And also, obviously, Mike Tomlin kind of sat him down as he's playing less and less snaps each week leading up to this week because of his complaining and things like that. Even though Mike Tomlin shut down all those rumors, him playing around 60% of the snaps has to be a bigger deal. So, George Pickens, he also appeared on some networks and talk shows to talk about the quarterback situation, and he bluntly said that he's been telling Justin Fields to throw him the ball more. And now this Sunday, when Russell Wilson finally got him involved in the offense, where he put up 111 yards on 5 catches and 1 touchdown, you could see that George Pickens was actually happy on the sideline, and he was more involved in this game more than any game so far this season, from an attitude standpoint. So, does George Pickens finally have a quarterback in Russell Wilson who could keep him happy? Hopefully that's the case, because George Pickens, like every great receiver and every other receiver on top of that, he wants the ball. And in his first game with Russell Wilson at quarterback, he got the ball a good amount and produced when he did. Of Russell Wilson's 29 pass attempts, he threw George Pickens the ball 9 times. And the duo completed 5 catches, 111 yards, and 1 touchdown, like I said. And also, it seems as though what Mike Tomlin said weeks ago, as in the Pittsburgh Steelers are limiting George Pickens snaps, just magically disappeared. Because now he's not on no snap limit. And it seems as though he's back to his normal snap count. So all that talk from weeks before, it just automatically and magically disappeared. So, when you look at George Pickens as a player, even his biggest critics could acknowledge that Pickens is extremely talented. He doesn't always show it, and he makes a lot of mistakes as well. For example, this season, he lost a fumble in the red zone, dropped a pass in the red zone, and dropped a 3rd down pass. That's not even getting into his emotional displays on the sideline and on the field, where sometimes he doesn't run his route or fully block or give full effort. So you could say that he doesn't always give 100%. But his biggest critics will say that he's extremely talented. And the counter argument has always been that the Steelers are not using Pickens correctly in the way that he needs to be used. Because he's worked with Mitchell Trubisky, Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, and also Matt Canada as the offense coordinator before firing him. And then now he finally gets to be able to be utilized more with Justin Fields and now eventually Russell Wilson, who came in last week. So looking at his play with Russell Wilson, that was one of his best performances of his short career this far. So when you look at George Pickens, he's a really good player. And it's an overdue good game for Pickens. Pickens thrives on the deep ball, and historically, Wilson is capable of delivering on the deep ball. That's what he's best known for. His moon ball, his touch passes, the deep ball. So you look at George Pickens, and you can see maybe he's happy because Russell Wilson fits what George Pickens likes doing most and what he does best. Contested catches and everything like that. So you look at Pickens, and Russell Wilson is able to give George Pickens opportunities and target him at volume. And that includes just throwing it up and giving it chances to make plays. And that's all George Pickens has been asking for. When he went on a talk show this week, he said that all he asks for sometimes when he goes in the huddle to Justin Fields is just give me a chance. Just throw it up there. Just give me a chance. And that's what he says, that sometimes it just doesn't happen. And he's not given that chance on the talk show. So you look at George Pickens, and maybe he's happy on the sideline because he finally got his first touchdown of the season. Because he has been putting up yards with Justin Fields. So I don't know why that would be the big case of him not being happy with Justin Fields. He did put up earlier this season 113 yards on 70 catches against the Colts. But obviously this game, he got his first touchdown on 111 yards. And maybe because it was his first game with Russell Wilson and he got that first touchdown, maybe that has him in a better mood. But George Pickens was extremely happy on the sideline and something that we haven't really seen all season. So there's no going back now. You're going to ride this out until the wheels fall off with Russell Wilson at quarterback. So the question was, is Russell Wilson a person and quarterback that could finally keep George Pickens happy? And hopefully that is the case, as we saw this past Sunday. Antonio Brown had Ben Roethlisberger, who kept him happy and kept feeding him and willing to feed him. So it makes sense that maybe Wilson is that guy for Pickens, or at least he's close enough to keep him from being a distraction anymore. So you look at George Pickens, you look at Russell Wilson, and that's a narrative and that's a talk evolving around him. But just looking at this team in general, just this last week against the Jets, it looked as though the team was just more amped. Everyone from offense, defense, special teams, to even the fans were even more amped than usual for Russell Wilson's first start. And that could have just been the atmosphere of a Sunday night football game, but many fans who went to the game said that's the loudest it's ever been when they've been at a Pittsburgh Steelers game. So it just seems as though everyone was just more excited and more positive on the field, on the sidelines, and in the stands for this week's game. So that might have nothing to do with Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, but that's just the atmosphere of the game. It just seemed even louder than usual for a Steelers home game. Also, it just seemed as though everyone was just more involved in the game and more set on the basics of what needed to be done. For example, when you look at the wide receivers and the playmakers, the tight ends, it just seems as though the catches that weren't being made weeks ago, or even just say last week, for example, they were being made in this game from everyone, from Pat Fryermuth to not dropping passes to catching contested balls. Even George Pickens, who was dropping some contested balls last week, he made all those contested catches. And there's some other players that were just running wide open, and the scheme of things just seemed way better from a coaching standpoint and a play calling standpoint and everything like that. And also, this was the best blocking game that we've seen all season by the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line. Run blocking, pass blocking, it didn't matter. It was the best blocking game this season, and everyone was just dialed in to the details of the game just a little bit more. And even the defense. Everything for the defense just panned out perfectly. Other than that one drive where they went down quickly and scored a touchdown, other than that, the defense was on point all game, shutting down the Jets and only letting the score 15 points and 0 points in the second half, and limiting their playmakers and their big four of A-Rod, Breece Hall, Davante Adams, and Wilson to limited gains. And you look at the Steelers' special teams, and they were amped as well. They blocked 2 kicks. Even though one of them didn't count, it should have counted, but they went back and they blocked another one, even though that one didn't count. So the Steelers' special teams was amped as well and got the rest of the team hyped, and big plays after big plays were just being made, and everyone was dialed in, like I said, from the fans in the stands, making loud noise, to the coaches' game plan, and the players executing on the field. So no matter what it was, whether it was just because Russell Wilson and the team rallying behind his first start, or something special going on in this Sunday night football game, something was different about this game. And we seen it, and the Steelers blew them out 37-15. And even though the Steelers blew out the Raiders the past week, it seemed as though this win was actually truly deserved as a blowout. So, with that being said, that's the end of this video, but the picture on the thumbnail and the pictures of this video is worth more than 1,000 words, because everyone is happy from this game, and the players made a difference. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on George Pickens. Do you believe that he finally has a quarterback that could keep him happy in Russell Wilson? And do you believe the team rallied around Russell Wilson and the team's in his first start for the team, and that's why everyone was even more amped? Or do you believe it was just another reason of just a primetime football game? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And also make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news, updates, highlights, analysis reports, everything like that. I cover everything Steelers. This is the best spot for it. So stay tuned to the channel, like, comment, and subscribe, turn on notifications. And until next time, I'll see you guys all later. I'm out. Peace.